welcome in to Off the Table, episode 2. Already losing count. We've only done 2 episodes.
Oh, it's amazing. They're running together.
They are running together. Right here, Off the Table, John Lunsford, Sean Rockstar Henniger, the day after Super Bowl 59. Don't you wish they'd write 59 certain places so that when you see the Roman numerals, you don't have to think about it like L's 50, okay, the I before the X is 9. It's 59.
I think that it's keeping the Roman numerals in business. The Roman numeral business is the Super Bowls because that's the only place I ever see it. And I had no idea it was 59. I remember Super Bowl 50. I don't know who played in it.
That was Cam Newton's Super Bowl, I think.
That's
Panthers
crazy.
And the Broncos that they lost.
It was probably like 9 years ago, probably.
That was 9 years ago.
So 50, but no, I had no idea it was 59. And I watched as much of it as I could. I saw the halftime show. I watched some commercials. What's interesting, I love going to Reddit for the halftime show because it's always the same thing. Halftime show and the commercials.
Yeah.
And some of the game, but commercials are always, remember when Super Bowl commercials used to be funny, and remember when halftime shows used to be good. Every year it's this, every single year, and I think it's so funny. But which one do you want to tackle first?
We can talk about the halftime show first because you're right. So I saw somebody on Facebook, a guy I went to high school with, that posted, all of you that are hating this halftime show are the same people that for the last 20 years have said, man, I hate this halftime show. And, it's usually people who are saying, I miss when the Rolling Stones did it or the year that U2 did it. Because I think that was like right after 9/11 that they did it. That you're throwing back to like some 80s rock band that you would rather see instead. I did not like the halftime show.
There was no, it
has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. I like Kendrick Lamar's music overall. I loved last year's halftime show. I don't know, the one with Usher, I don't know if you remember that one or not.
I do remember that now that you brought it up. Like I was trying to think in my head, who the hell played last year? Like it's an interesting show, but it's just that it's not for me. It's not like this. I don't know who the demographic for the halftime show is because it's not what's your average NFL fan? A 50-year-old white man.
Pretty much. And
so the halftime show is for the younger audience.
Let's say you bring in, let's say right now, the 3 biggest artists are, I'll throw Kendrick Lamar in there. He just won a ton of Grammys, and the whole Drake feud was huge. Taylor Swift, obviously.
Correct.
And let's throw somebody in there like Billie Eilish, who's really, really big. Okay. Any of those 3 do Super Bowl halftime, at least half the people that are watching it will complain about it.
Yeah.
Because Taylor Swift, for all eternity now,
I was thinking it was rigged.
Will be hated when she does a halftime show. Travis Kelce's probably done. That's all the questions last night to all the Chiefs players were, well, do you think Travis is done? And, of course, they're not saying anything. But
I don't know yet. We're just going to take it day by day.
That's exactly what he sounded like answering all that. But, like, if he's done, it doesn't matter because people will be like, oh, well, Taylor's only doing this because she dated Travis Kelce, even if they end up breaking up. And people just don't like Taylor Swift. People don't like Taylor Swift, and I think that's why it's like the ultimate like combination right now, Taylor Swift and the Chiefs. People hate the ones who are winning. Like everybody hated the Chiefs and wanted the Eagles to win last night, not because they cared about the Eagles or like we'll get into the game here in a second, but they just don't want the winners to win. It's the same thing Alabama dealt with for the last 20 years in college football. The Patriots dealt with under Tom Brady and Belichick.
The Warriors.
The Warriors a little bit. Like the Yankees in baseball. It's the same thing all these teams deal with. And Taylor Swift is that in the music world, to where you add those 2 together and everybody explodes. But you're not going to do a halftime show that makes everybody happy. Like, I thought kind of the best mix was it Bruno Mars that Red Hot Chili Peppers
did their show with? Well, he played like the drums and everything.
I think that's a really good mix of like the guest and the performer are 2 very different performers, but they go together pretty well. Bruno Mars is somebody that can do any kind of music, but it really worked together well. I feel like Coldplay had somebody.
I don't remember I'm a Coldplay fan. I do not remember the performance. And I thought the Maroon 5 or the Adam Levine featuring Maroon 5 was that terrible. He took his shirt off. Like this is just, and that's a rock band. So like I don't know you can't make everybody happy. What's going to make the most people happy? I don't know if it's Kendrick Lamar.
Bottom line, so I think people hate Katy Perry's show for the most part. When you think back to that, the most memorable thing of that is the shark, being off beat with everybody. Or did she ride up
on an elephant or a dinosaur or something?
All of that, I think it was a lion.
Yeah.
Something like that. But that show was somewhat entertaining to me. like it was a spectacle.
Yeah, it's a visual.
That's what I think was missing last night. I think it was also missing with Rihanna's show a little bit too. It's not that there was nothing on the field.
And Rihanna was like 6 months pregnant when she did her show.
She was. But like there has to be some kind of like spectacle to it.
Correct. And you have to have a special guest, like a surprise. I think my wife walked in when I was watching the halftime show and she saw this girl dance. She goes, "Is that Serena Williams?" I was like, "No." I didn't know she was Drake's ex. So I'm just like, she just kind of looks like her, I guess. And like, so
and
I
they
look
kept
at the
teasing
back.
like there's a big guest, there's a big guest. I guess that was it because we already knew SZA was doing it.
So I
guess Serena Williams crip walking for 5 seconds was the special guest.
No clue that they were exes. Like that's the thing. Like do you think the majority of the people watching the Super Bowl halftime, even though he won a Grammy, knew that that's the big song was about Drake? Like just talking about the majority of men watching that game. Like,
I mean,
why is there a tennis player dancing? Like because I kind of knew about it and I had no idea that she was his ex-girlfriend. No clue.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I really remember that, but my wife instantly was like, "Oh, is that Serena Williams?" And I was like, "Surely that was somebody pretending to be Serena Williams." And then she posted out, "I actually did that," and it was actually her.
And somebody said this morning that the reason they did the triangles and the circles and it was because it was a Sony PlayStation, because Sony owns Drake, and that's why they said game over. And I was like, that's all these little subtle digs, and I have no idea what's going on. But
if he hadn't said Drake, because he actually said his name when he started doing Not Like Us.
Which is the P word now is a curse word, I guess, because he couldn't use it.
They played it during the Grammys, but the NFL was not going to stand for it. I understand it, and I kind of, they did just a little record scratch or whatever instead of saying it. The best part was, and I'm sure they pumped this in. I'm sure the whole crowd didn't actually say it. Maybe I'm wrong.
A minor.
The A minor at the end. And I didn't realize he had the A. It almost looked like an Amazon A that was on his chain.
I was curious what that was.
And then I get it's a lowercase A. I get it, A minor.
Or Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. But anyway, the little subtle digs is like, oh, I get that. I understand that reference, all that kind of stuff. But overall, it just wasn't entertaining. It's nothing to do with the music. I like his music. Like Usher last year, I think was fairly entertaining. There's got to be an entertainment factor to it, and that just wasn't there. And a lot of times, the backup dancers, I feel like, are there to almost make the entertainment a lot of times.
Correct. Like I'm just going to walk. Like he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. No. That's the problem. Like Rihanna, she was pregnant when she did it. I kind of understand that. But like Usher, I feel like Usher himself was actually very entertaining because he's very much a dancer. So halftime show was just kind of whatever to me. Is it the worst of all time? No. Is it the best of all time? Absolutely not. But this is definitely going to be a time Kendrick Lamar will be remembered for because of the feud, because of winning all the Grammys a week before, and then still doing halftime.
Do you think we will ever hear from Drake?
He has a new album coming out this week, I think. This is all coming from my wife, so you'll have to ask her. But
I'm just curious. And would you even try to do like a rebuttal, or you just try to let it go? Like knowing like this guy won Grammys.
I don't know if this
like,
album is a rebuttal.
I don't know, but what could I possibly do to outdo it? Like without people like, oh, that's lame, dude.
He's just got to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still one of the biggest artists out there. He's just got to move on.
He's still a Raptors fan?
I'm sure he is.
Okay. Can I say something real quick before the halftime show? Just quick. Tom Cruise is finally looking old.
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt both were very much all over the Super Bowl. They're both starting to show their age a little bit. Tom Cruise especially. There's a reason this is probably the last Mission Impossible. I mean, it's wrapping up the story. I guess they could do more if he really wanted to, but there's a reason this is the last Mission Impossible.
Started to take over. I was just like that.
Did you
do
see
the intro?
Did you see a movie? Because Mission Impossible was one of the ones that was advertised. Did you see a movie last night that's like, oh, that actually kind of looks interesting? I know they don't show full trailers. It's just little bits of it.
The only trailer I remember was the Marvel movie that I don't.
With Thunderbolts?
With Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
No interest with Is it Hopper?
Yeah.
No, I have no interest. Is that going to be a big hit?
It'll be decent. I think it's kind of trying to be Marvel's Suicide Squad. Did you ever see Suicide Squad?
Is that the one with
Margot Robbie, Will Smith?
Jared Leto?
Yeah.
No.
It was not very good. The ragtag group of people that are actually kind of sort of bad guys, but like they're actually kind of like anti-heroes almost. That's what this is. Florence Pugh is like another Black Widow because Scarlett Johansson got killed. Hopper is her dad, but it was all like actually like a cover, like a Russian cover. If you've seen the Black Widow movie,
nope.
U.S. agent. That's I just totally blanked on his name. Wyatt Russell. He is from Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is a TV show. That's the problem. You have to have watched
all of this stuff.
Black Widow, which came out during COVID, so it was one of those they released like on Disney Plus, and you had to pay $20 to watch.
She sued Disney, didn't she?
She sued Disney. Well, she is dead, and I use that in air quotes because the way the multiverse is going, you can bring anybody back. But Scarlett Johansson's dead, so Florence Pugh is taking that over. David Harbour, he's from that movie as well. The rest is from TV shows. So like Winter Soldier's been there. That's Bucky. That's Sebastian Stan. But she had a great year this past year. But he's coming from the Marvel movies and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. U.S. Agent's coming from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is coming from Falcon and Winter Soldier. So you had to watch TV. And there's new characters. There's the bad guy from.
So I can't go into this movie just cold, just like I haven't seen.
You probably could, but it would. There's a guy on YouTube who does. His name's the Man of Recaps. He is incredible at recapping. Like if you're like, oh, I don't remember this season, or if I just didn't watch. Like I have used him for shows I haven't really watched. Like I haven't watched Squid Game. I know it's like one of the biggest shows out there, but I never watched it. But I watched the Man of Recaps for season 1 and 2, and I feel like I'm completely caught up at every reference that my wife has made or anybody else has ever made. I know he does a really good job. So I would say watch his video before you went in because there is a lot to catch up on. Not that you would go see this movie, but
no,
it'll probably do okay. It won't be the biggest Marvel movie this year. It may be third because Captain America's coming out this week, and Fantastic Four will be their big one this summer.
So the only trailers I remember is that. I think it was like a How to Train Your Dragon 16.
It's a live action version of the animated movie.
Was it Lilo and Stitch?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch.
That's a live action version of the animated movie.
Did I miss anything? Because you were telling me about a Bill Murray ad, and I was like, I can't even remember that.
All right, so let's get into the commercials. I'll get to the Bill Murray ad here in a second. I finally finished it this morning, and it was actually work. So the commercials, I actually kind of sort of liked the Uber Eats commercial with Matthew McConaughey. It's kind of been a play all season long because there's one, but it was pretty good. Kevin Bacon, Sean Evans. I didn't realize it was Sean Evans. I saw the commercial beforehand, because they released them all on YouTube beforehand. I didn't realize it was Sean Evans during the Buffalo Wing part, but that was kind of a good, throw to his stuff. And then Charlie XCX, Martha Stewart randomly in it at the end for no reason. But I thought it was pretty funny.
I'll tell you what. Are you going to get the Meta glasses?
No.
Ray-Bans? What was so funny was when they, I think it was because there was 2 commercials. The first commercial, when Hemsworth says record this and it says actual footage, they showed like 2 seconds of it because the footage was so bad.
Yeah.
Like they literally, not even 2 seconds of the footage. And
we're not quite there yet.
No, but just how Google Glass. How long ago that was over a decade ago.
A long time ago.
So actually, we're not there yet, but I'm not going to wear the Meta glass. And Chris Pratt doesn't look like himself anymore. I had to look it up. I was like,
it took me a second to realize it was Chris
Pratt.
Who
is the other guy? That's Chris Pratt.
The glasses didn't help. Because the thing is, I feel like I've seen Chris Hemsworth wear glasses in movies before. I have not seen Chris Pratt wear glasses.
Was he the one in Ghostbusters, or was it his brother?
Yeah, that was him. I think that's probably the main thing I remember him wearing glasses because he was supposed to be like the nerdy but also hot guy. But yeah, Chris Pratt. If he didn't have glasses on, I probably could have been able to tell a little easier. But yeah, the glasses definitely threw me off. I feel like there weren't as many good funny commercials. Like the Uber Eats commercial was kind of sort of funny. The Bud Light commercial with Post Malone and Shane Gillis were like they're having to save the party. It was okay.
And the new thing is to incorporate it into the Super Bowl because the next thing you saw was Peyton Manning loading that big ass igloo thing up. So I thought it was okay. They're just too long. The Doritos commercial was a big fail. The aliens trying to get. I like the Totino's one. I don't know.
I didn't like that one because I thought it's too forced and like.
Yeah, I don't understand who's going to be more pissed off, Pringles or Little Caesars, who had the idea first with the eyebrows or the mustache. Because somebody leaked it, I'm guessing. I like the seal one because it's just so out of nowhere.
Like nightmare inducing with Seal's head on the Seal body. I mean, it was kind of sort of funny.
And I think the goal now is it's not to be funny. It's either it's not to be funny, it's to be memorable. Like, I can't tell you, and I'm sure everyone on Reddit was going ape about it, and I don't know what the product was, the damn tongue. It's just to be about that we're talked about, where the guy's tongue dancing. He's licking Cool Whip off his coffee or something like that.
I don't even remember that.
And then it turns into a tongue dancing. It was awful. It's just, and people were like, that's so gross. Like, why?
It shows how much I pay attention.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It's just, I don't know what the product was. That's another thing. You don't know that. I didn't like the Nate Bargatze commercial. I don't know what he was advertising.
That was for DoorDash. Because the whole thing is he's saving so much money because you can sign up for because we have it as Dash Pass. You save like delivery fees and stuff. It's like I'm saving so much money I can spend money on whatever I want to. But the commercial didn't do much for me. I just vaguely remember
the guy riding a
product.
carriage throwing laptops around in Ireland or whatever. Or
I don't even remember that one.
So it's just there's. I think the thing is, it's not to be funny almost anymore. It's about to be like, what's going to draw people? What are people going to be talking about tomorrow? A tongue dancing. And everybody's comment is, God, you remember when commercials used to be funny? Or you look forward to these commercials? These are all awful. It's like, they're not all awful, but there's only so many ideas you can do. At least this year, I didn't see. Was there any monkey one? The big thing, the new monkeys thing is the sloth. I did like the liquid death commercial was funny. Drinking on the job.
Oh, that one actually was pretty funny.
I thought that was for the school bus driver.
If you didn't know what that was, you'd be like, I can't believe. I know
the judge. I thought that was, but I only saw it once, and I didn't see anybody comment on it. I was like, that one just fell by the wayside.
Apparently, they have a cola now too. Which I noticed in there, and a tea.
Uh-huh.
I've only ever just had I tried one of the flavored ones on accident. Like I thought I was just getting a normal water because I love Liquid Death, like the water. But I got a flavored one and I did not like it. But maybe I'll try the cola. I don't really like tea. The commercials weren't great. Probably the bet. There's always like feel good ones too that are out there. The only feel good one I really remember liking was the Google Pixel one, where it's like they're trying to act like AI is good.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's so scared of AI. It's like, hey, AI can actually do some good. And the whole thing is like it's a dad talking to Google Gemini, which is their version of AI, like on a Google Pixel, because he's trying to prepare for a job interview. And so it's like, describe your work history. And he starts trying to describe his actual work history. And it's like, tell us like, and then the AI responds back like, no, tell me like your history. And so then he starts telling like his job as like a dad and like what he learned being a dad and being a friend and being a husband and all that kind of stuff. And like it builds his resume from that, teaches him how to do the interview. And then he goes and does the interview. It was a pretty good, like, hey, AI can be used for some good stuff too. Don't be scared of it.
Well, it's just, there's other stuff where like the Harrison Ford thing is like 2.5 minutes long, but it's a good message. But then it's like, he bite into a Snickers bar and it's like where he's driving off on a Jeep. And it's just like, it's a good message, but there has to be a product placement at the end. It's just like, that sells it so much.
Yeah. So another one I saw last night was the Bill Murray Yahoo
Which
ad,
I didn't see. You brought it up and I had no idea.
The only reason I went down this rabbit hole is because the game was a blowout. And I didn't really care towards the end. The Chiefs started trying to make a little bit of a comeback, put a couple touchdowns up. But I saw an ad it was a Yahoo ad. You could tell because the email address was at yahoo.com. And it was only a few seconds, but it was basically Bill Murray looking in a mirror, and in the mirror was a dog, and instead of his reflection. And so he like turns to the camera and he's like, I need help. Please email me. And it was Bill himself at yahoo.com. And it's like, I'll actually answer it. It's all automated, you can tell. Mm-hmm. So I got bored and I was like, I'm going to email this. I'm going to see where this goes. And so I emailed him. I emailed it.
Bill.
The AI that was answering it. And the first email is it responds with a video of him like in a hospital gown saying the ER was too crowded. I wanted to see what was going on. So I went to a vet because it was a dog that was in the mirror. And the vet gave me a card. What do you think the card said? And I was like, okay, I've already started this. I might as well finish. So I was like, what did the card say? And then he emails me back again. And it's like, they told me to go to a pet psychic. So I went to Platinum Pet Premonitions and saw a psychic named Mona, and they told me that it was going to be $100 a minute to talk to them. So I said, that's too expensive. So email me some advice or a poem or anything you have to help me figure this out. So I sent him a poem called The Purple Cow that I Googled that says, I never saw a purple cow. I hope to never see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one. And that was what I responded. And I was like, I'm going to see this is stupid. I'm going to see what it responds to. Didn't even acknowledge the fact that I sent him a poem. Responded back, and it was him and Brian, his brother, Brian Doyle Murray, who I'll be honest, I thought was dead. But it was another video attached of the two of them sitting in, and he looks like he's actually close because he's like in a wheelchair. But it goes like into a study, and the two of them are sitting there. And then Brian's like, oh, the dog in the reflection is our old dog, Peppy. And then he says in the email, he tells a story about how they had a dog named Peppy that their parents said ran away, but they actually sent to go live on a farm with one of his dad's friends. And he's like, I never got to see Peppy, so I finally got to say goodbye to the reflection in the mirror. And that was it. And I was like, what was the point of this? I know the point is to because at the end of everything it said sent using the new Yahoo Mail or whatever. Oh. And I'm like, you could have at least made this funny. It's Bill Murray.
Yeah, the dog.
Like, you could have at least made it funny. Brian Doyle Murray's probably most notable role is from a funny movie in Christmas Vacation. Like, come on.
Oh, he's great in Scrooged. He's his dad.
He's a great voiceover actor, but it's like, come on, you got to make this funny. I went down this whole rabbit hole. It took like 20 minutes to send all the emails back and forth just for it to be like, oh, it's just my old dog Peppy done by AI, and I say goodbye to him.
That's terrible. Like,
have a good day.
But
that was it.
I even
emailed it back and I said that was it, and I never got a response.
Yeah,
back.
We got what we wanted from you.
Whoops, I did that. But
go ahead.
It was not very good. But that's those state of commercials now. It's like they kind of ran out of ideas and
bringing back the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts thing. I thought it was funny with Bill Belichick and his girl, but that
was the only funny part for me was when they're like, Dunkin', and he just goes,
yeah.
And it's like, come on, Bill, with more enthusiasm. The Jeremy Strong part had already been leaked because during the conference championships, they did just the part of him like soaking in the coffee, like coming up and coming down, and him being like a method actor. We already saw that part. So then all the rest of the commercial was framed around that. It was funny them talking about you should have paid for Matt, you should have paid for Tom, because obviously they did plenty. Like Matt Damon was David Beckham's brother in that commercial, which wasn't that funny.
Terrible.
And then Tom Brady, of course, was calling the game. It was all over the place, but it just wasn't very good.
No.
The game wasn't very good either.
No, I enjoyed the game.
Although everybody's happy that the Chiefs lost.
Well, I think everybody's happy that Taylor was not shown as much, which they
didn't show her till like the 2-minute warning. They finally showed her because the Chiefs, I think, had a little bit of their first kind of drive going, even though they didn't score. But I don't understand it. I don't hate Taylor Swift. I don't love Taylor Swift. I just don't. I'm just in the middle. I don't really care. But it's like I don't think like I'm throwing a drink at my TV every time they show her. Like I just don't understand. I forgot to turn our lights on. Sorry.
It's okay. You want to start over?
No, keep going.
I don't understand the hate. Like, and she's not an evil, bad person. Like I can understand if it's a political person who was there, like there's going to be people that hate him and love him. I get that, but like I just don't understand just because they show her on the screen. Like you get enough time, and I only saw her the one time, and they were getting rounded anyway. You see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce way more on commercials than you do Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, well just commercials. She hardly does anything.
And the way he talks, my God.
But yeah, the game was boring because Kansas City didn't do anything until the final few minutes. They never showed her on camera because they typically only show her now when they score and she celebrates. But I was happy Jalen finally got a ring. You were around when everybody was yelling about Jalen and Tua and all that in sports radio. That was the short amount of time that I was on sports radio as well. I went to Alabama, graduated from Alabama. My dad graduated from Alabama. I've been going to games since 1991. I've seen a lot of players come and go, but Jalen's probably my favorite player to come through Tuscaloosa. Came out there, first play, fumbled. His first play as an Alabama player, he fumbled. They were down 3-0 to USC, came back to win 52-6. And from there on, had a great career. I know people really only remember him for losing to Deshaun Watson and Clemson. People forget that he led a game-winning drive before that, just left a little time on the clock for Deshaun Watson to do the same. And then people remember him being benched in favor of Tua in the championship game against Georgia, but then forget that he came in the very next year and did the exact same thing, saved Tua from losing to Georgia in the SEC championship. Transferred, so everybody says, well, he doesn't count as an Alabama player anymore. He very much counts as an Alabama player and an Oklahoma player, and handled that situation very well. So I'm glad he finally won last night. I'm glad Devontae Smith won last night. All the Alabama players there on the Eagles. That's the only reason really I was cheering for the Eagles. I don't care about the Eagles at all as a franchise, but I do care about all the Alabama players there, and especially Jalen Hurts. I'm glad he won Super Bowl MVP. I'm glad he got a huge win too, so it wasn't like, oh, it was only because of a call or something like that. They destroyed the Chiefs, and he actually looked really good. And Tua won't ever even sniff a Super Bowl. I don't even know if he'll get another playoff start. So for all those people,
you don't think he could get injured in a Super Bowl?
I think get injured well before the Super Bowl. But for all those people that were doubting Jalen, I'm glad he finally shut them up. And I think Jalen's the kind of player on the field everybody should aspire to be, and off the field that everybody should aspire to be as well. So I'm glad he got the win.
I'm good. Well. And I'm glad Patrick lost. And
everybody's glad Patrick lost.
I just don't know why. I don't know. And the little flick past the Travis, that kind of stuff. Just
there were so many passes. And now, to be fair, the offensive line played terrible, but there were so many passes that were in the dirt from him that didn't necessarily need to be in the dirt. A couple of them to Travis early on that could have extended drives, and it just was not good. And he just, I don't know. Everything about Patrick last night was not good. The Chiefs was just not good.
Well,
that's what happens when you're down 40-6 or whatever. I know it ended up being 40-22, but it was a massive blowout.
Well, to show somebody's skill in knowing sports, I had no idea that DeAndre Hopkins was a Kansas City Chief.
started with the Titans this year and got traded midseason.
Nope, didn't know he was with the Titans.
Got to go to a good team. Do you know he was with before the Titans?
He was with the Cardinals, right?
He was with the Cardinals.
I remember that's
spent most of his career with the Texans, but
Texans
then
the Cardinals, but
went
then
to the
after
Cardinals.
that, no clue.
Came to because the Titans. I used to be a big Titans fan. I was a huge fan when they first moved from Houston. I loved Eddie George. I loved Steve McNair. I loved watching
Frank Wycheck, Al Del Greco.
It's funny. We actually went to a Preds game Saturday night. My wife got me tickets for my birthday, and so we went over there, and they were playing the Buffalo Sabres. And if I heard the words Music City Miracle more times, that was Frank Wycheck's time. So, like, I heard the words Music City Miracle nonstop during that because they were playing the Buffalo Sabres. That happened against the Buffalo Bills. Everybody was yelling that, ha, you lost to the Chiefs. The Bills lost to the Chiefs. So
it's a good environment.
There were a ton of people wearing Bills gear, even though it was a Sabres game, like wearing like Josh Allen jerseys and stuff in Nashville. So they came from Buffalo to Nashville wearing Bills gear when the Bills had lost.
Do they jump on flaming tables and stuff like that?
They didn't do any of that, luckily. But, you think you would wear Sabres gear because, like, if the Bills were playing in the Super Bowl, they had beaten the Chiefs. I understand you're wearing all your Bills stuff. But it made no sense they were all wearing Bills stuff.
Team. Still got a
I know
it's team.
The same city, but it was a little bit weird. But it was fun. Everybody making fun of them with the Music City Miracle, which is one of the best plays, I think, in football history. But the Titans are awful. The Titans franchise went into the toilet. I dropped them for a reason. I don't have any team that I really cheer for now. I like cheering for Alabama players, especially Jalen. So it seems probably like I'm more of an Eagles fan, but I don't really care about the Eagles. But the Titans are awful, and they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles to give Jalen a weapon who he threw a touchdown pass to last night. And that was one of the dumbest trades ever. They got nothing for it. And they are now getting the first pick in the draft because they're the worst team in football, and Jalen and the Eagles are the best team in football.
Well, if you want a bandwagon to jump on that's going to get big,
the Lions,
Dallas Mavericks. They're only going up.
I love how also during the game last night, I saw somebody tweet that Anthony Davis is apparently injured and going to miss some time. Yep. It's like, I love how they're trying to slip this in the middle of the Super Bowl so nobody will give them any more bad press after everything that happened. It's like, and Anthony Davis is hurt. So that trade did nothing for Dallas.
His eyebrows could have flown off with those Little Caesars.
That is somebody they should have put in that commercial. That would have been pretty funny. Anyway, Super Bowl was boring overall. The commercials weren't that good. The halftime show wasn't that good. The game wasn't that good. But you know what? It's still a Super Bowl. We're still going to watch. It's still worth watching.
We got to wait till next year till the Chiefs play. I bet the Chiefs play the Eagles. Is it the way too early odds? Is the Chiefs back in it?
I honestly don't know. Let's see. Let's see if they have any futures out there. Your team, the Detroit Lions, kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I think
after being so good
last
this year.
year was their year.
But they may still have a chance. You never know. Let's see. I can't even load anything. NFL futures. The Eagles are plus 600. The Chiefs are plus 700. The Bills are plus 700. The Ravens are plus 700.
Well, the Bills have to beat the Chiefs. That doesn't seem
the Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. Those are the top three in the AFC. The top three in the NFC are Eagles at 6-1, Lions at 10-1, 49ers at 16-1.
No.
Then the Commanders and Packers at 18-1. I'd probably leave the Commanders up there. I mean,
so it's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Good quarterback. It'll be the Eagles and the Chiefs. I mean, it's like Alabama. Alabama's always up there. The Chiefs are always going to be up there. Georgia's always up there. The Eagles are going to be up there. Obviously, when you win the championship, you're going to probably be the favorite, especially when you have all the talent coming back. But, your Lions may do something.
I don't think they.
Jared Goff's a little old.
Yeah, and he's not the most athletic guy. I'm surprised by him. We have something coming up, don't we? We're about to reveal something, aren't we?
Yes, we finally did. Do we want to call it a Playhouse? We can call it whatever you want to. It's your thing.
Let's think on it.
I've been calling it a digital short. I put digital short at the beginning because I'm trying to play off.
With me.
Trying to play off SNL the way they did the old Lonely Island digital shorts. But yeah, we have our first digital short / Playhouse / Dr. Lou, whatever you want to call it. And this one was fun to shoot, so enjoy. Places, please. Places, please. This is your Places call for the final performance of Rockstar's Playhouse.
I mean, Birmingham used to treat us like movie stars. These instruments, these sets. We were ambassadors for style and grace. The authentic rock star. The iconic American rock star.
You have an act prepared?
I do. I'm a singer.
Music?
Yeah, I gave it to the maestro.
Hold your cards close.
Feeling seen, feeling heard, that's powerful.
Keep that poker face. Yeah. Get back up, babe, when
Doing the job you don't really love,
down.
that's hard.
She's beautiful that way.
So there you have it. The Last Rock Star. Have you seen The Last Showgirl?
I have not. I didn't know about it till you told me about it.
That is a play on the trailer for The Last Showgirl. It's a movie that came out a couple months ago. Stars Pamela Anderson, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dave Bautista. I did not like it. It was actually not that good of a movie to me. Some people loved it. Some awards buzz, but no Oscar nominations. I'd rather say The Last Rock Star.
Oh, that's gonna be a hit.
Huge.
I was late for a gig and I was booking it to get to that gig, to that audition. So I think I nailed it. I'm really nervous. We got to see the beautiful city of Birmingham. We got to enjoy a meal together.
We did.
And it seems like a common hangout spot for us. It's our Max. I think that's a dated reference from Saved by the Bell. But yeah, I'm excited to keep doing these, and I have a couple ideas of more stuff to do, more fun entertainment. We can call it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was fun. It was fun to shoot. We'll have a lot of these. We'll have one pretty much every week. I'm working on the lounge. I'm working on a space. I actually was talking to my dad this weekend about setting us up a cool place for you to play and perform.
I'm all about it, man.
Entertain. But yeah, so there was The Last Rock Star. We'll have the trailer up for you on its own as well. If you want to share just that part, you can. Also, make sure to subscribe to everything that we're doing here. We'll have this podcast, obviously. We'll have the Playhouse digital short, whatever you want to call it. We'll have stuff from the lounge. We'll have some fun stuff. We're getting ready to do some more trade shows. We're going to go and get some fun stuff from. There's all kind of stuff that we're going to do. So make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Hit it hard. Break your keyboard over your mouse or your tracker pad. What is this thing called?
It is a trackpad. Isn't that what it's called?
I don't know, but hit it hard.
Hit it.
To subscribe, and then make the little dinger. Turn your notifications
dinger.
on. Yeah,
The dinger.
Get your dinger ready.